The parking lot was supposed to be quiet that morning, just the low rumble of motorcycle engines warming up under the rising sun. But peace shattered in an instant when a young influencer, hungry for views and blinded by ego, lifted his phone in one hand and raised the other against a frail old man who had done nothing more than stand in the wrong place at the wrong time. The slap echoed across the asphalt like a gunshot. The veteran stumbled, fell, and the TikToker stepped forward, laughing, unaware that 40 bikers had stopped mid-stride, every one of them watching him with disbelief and growing rage. What happened next would change lives in a way no viral video ever could. If you believe the world needs more kindness, compassion, and second chances, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps stories like these reach more hearts. The old man's name was Harold, though no one in that parking lot knew it yet. His worn leather jacket, decorated with faded patches, told piece of his story: years of service, sacrifice, and unspoken hardship. Harold had come to the car meet simply to chat with younger folks, to feel the warmth of community again after years of quiet loneliness. His wife had passed away long ago, his children moved far from home, and mornings like this were the few times he felt part of something again. He had approached the TikToker's car with a smile, complimenting the vehicle, hoping for a simple conversation. Instead, the influencer shoved him, filming himself mocking the old relic, laughing for his online audience. What the TikToker didn't realize was that Harold wasn't alone. The biker club gathering nearby wasn't just a random group of rowdy riders. They were veterans themselves, brother, forged not by blood but by battles, by memories, by the silent code of loyalty that never leaves a soldier's heart. When they saw Harold fall, they didn't just see an old man hit the pavement, they saw their past, their comrades, their fathers, and themselves. As Harold lay on the asphalt, blinking against the bright morning sun, he felt a weight not only on his ribs, but on his spirit, a familiar heaviness. That came every time he remembered how the world had changed, how people seemed to forget the sacrifices of those who came before them. He tried to sit up, but winced. He didn't cry, even then. Harold hadn't cried since the war. The TikToker laughed, stepped closer, and raised his foot as if posing triumphantly over a defeated opponent for the camera. But before he could land the staged hit, multiple shadows stretched over the ground. The rumble of engines settled into silence. Boots hit the pavement. 40 men closed in, and the TikToker's smile vanished. The leader of the bikers, a rugged man with silver in his beard and calm fire in his eyes, didn't yell. He didn't need to. Sometimes silence is louder than rage. He and his crew lifted Harold gently, helping him to his feet with a tenderness that contrasted sharply with their intimidating appearance. Harold brushed himself off, insisting he was fine, though his voice trembled. The TikToker backed away as the circle tightened. His phone slipped from his hand and skidded across the pavement. Panic flushed through him as he realized the magnitude of what he had done. Internet fame couldn't shield him here. Algorithms didn't matter. Views couldn't defend him. But the bikers didn't lay a hand on him. They didn't need violence to make their point. Instead, they surrounded him and spoke not in threats, but in truths. They told him who Harold was. They told him what it meant to wear the patches on that old jacket. They described the man's life, the battles he'd fought for complete strangers, the freedoms he'd protected long before the influencer was even born. They asked him what he had contributed, what he stood for, what he wanted his actions to say about him when no phone was recording. Harold watched quietly, leaning on his cane. His heart ached not from pain, but from the realization that disrespect wasn't what hurt most. It was the thought of how easily people forgot the value of humility, gratitude, and simple human decency. The TikToker's voice cracked as he apologized. Not a rehearsed online apology, not a PR statement, just a scared young man finally realizing his mistake. The bikers didn't mock him. They pushed him to understand. They made him repeat his apology directly to Harold, looking him in the eyes, and Harold, weary and bruised, simply nodded and forgave him. But forgiveness was only the first step. The bikers insisted he make things right, not for the cameras, but for himself. They had him help Harold to a nearby bench, bring him water, check his injuries, and sit with him. At first, the TikToker's hands trembled, but as minutes turned to an hour, something genuine began to grow in his expression. Shame softened into reflection. Fear gave way to a sense of responsibility he had never known before. Harold shared a few stories, not of war, not of violence, but of resilience, family, and the importance of giving more to the world than you take from it. The young man listened closely, and for the first time in a long while, Harold saw hope in someone's eyes. The video the TikToker had recorded was deleted with his own hands. In its place, he later uploaded a new one, not of violence, but of gratitude, respect, and a heartfelt message about treating others with dignity. He spoke about Harold, about the bikers who taught him a lesson, and about the moment he realized his online followers were real people with real emotions, not just numbers feeding his ego. And to everyone's surprise, the bikers stood behind him in that new video, not as enemies, but as reminders that second chances are real when a person genuinely chooses to change. From that day forward, the TikToker visited Harold weekly. Sometimes they talked. Sometimes they just sat quietly. Sometimes they helped other veterans together, delivering groceries or fixing things around their homes. And each time, both Harold and the young man became a little more whole. Because sometimes the worst moment of your life becomes the moment that saves you. If this story touched your heart, please like the video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more real stories that remind us of the good still left in the world. Before you go, comment below. Respect and kindness always.